Okay, second video of the day. Do you see those buckets? They need to go downstairs. Alright? Do you see this? Those are little grapes that my neighbor gave me. Little gray ones. little purple ones or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm in the bathtub. Do you see that? Okay? I forgot about them. They've been sitting there for 2 days. Soaking because I did all those blueberries. Now, remember, my hip hurts. What is the date today? Second video of the day. September 9th of 2025. No, September 7th. September 7th of 2025, which is actually Murray's birthday. Yeah. So anyway, I did, oh, God. Where did I put that bloody brush? Here we go. I did, is that gonna slide off? My butt will be in the video. I dehydrated the blueberries, lots of sugar. I had grapes, whatever. So now, because I bought cheese a long time ago and sent, you know, anti-chimay fridge right downstairs, I'm dehydrating them all now. Whole bunch of cheese. That's all I'm going to be doing is dehydrating cheese for the next 2 months. So, you know, you have powdered cheese for macaroni and all that crap. So in the meantime, I got to take a brush to this. Okay. Does it look like I'm working on the path? Oh, fuck. Do you see? I'm not going to meet my deadline. No way. Normally, I stand and this is how I normally do it. Kills my back, but whatever. Where are we? Okay. Oh, this is not work. Oh, I'm just playing. Oh, yeah. I'm being foolish. Oh, I sure am. This is a foolish thing for a woman to do. Never mind one that's going blind. You know, what is she thinking about? Well, I don't know. I probably got, oh, I don't even know how much cheese I got downstairs. I just know it's a lot. And I want to get on with it. So, before I can use these trays, I can clean them. Right? So, that's what I'm doing. I'm washing all the sugar. Because when you do cheese, it's very, very greasy. Oh, it's very greasy. Yeah. It's not good for my hip, but what can I do? Right? It's just easier if I work as fast as I can. You know what I'm saying? Oh, pretty soon none of this stuff is gonna matter. No. I don't even know what the hell's gonna matter. No. Oh. And of course, you know, when you do stuff like this, when you have, oh, which reminds me, I need to go put my eye drops in. Didn't do that. And it's late already in the day. They say straining yourself, bending down. Well, it depends. I think it depends on who you talk to. Bending down, squatting, doing this, working in the ground, smelling all the dirt and the grit and pulling morning glory and the histamines. Oh. It really does affect your eyes. You don't notice it when you can see, right? You know what I mean? You don't. Especially with a disease like glaucoma, right? Because, you know, the one that's not painful, you don't feel it, right? So you don't think it's causing damage, but it does. And then factor in energy weapons, which have been documented in my yard. Yeah. And in the house. You know, those are heat sources. Those are energy sources that travel. When I took that bucket that was in the front under that one video where the energy weapon from the Stingray or whatever they call that thing, where it's controlled through a joystick and it's done through reflection, right? And it went through that black bucket, and when I took the bucket to exposure, it showed where the molecules in the bucket had changed when it penetrated. The penetration point. Exposure is an amazing thing. Yeah. You can expose a lot with exposure. All the scoundrels in the community. Only thing is, there's too many of them. And I don't even think they're all normal. Like, they're not like a human, that's for sure. There's something else. Whatever you want to call them. Different names. Different theories as to what they are. But they definitely do exist. Even Shemay said before she died. She said, Mom, aliens are real. She was convinced of it. Shemay, I don't know, she had, there was something special about Shemay. When she was little, like 3 years old or something like that, I was in a grocery store with her. And she was walking with me. And like, Shemay was not an aggressive child, right? And anyway, this woman walked by with her cart. I don't know, she looked at Shemay. She did something to her. I don't know. Shemay, oh my God. Shemay didn't like her. All of a sudden, the woman walks by, looks at Shemay or whatever. I don't know what happened between the two of them in terms of a vibe or what. The woman kept on going with her cart, and Shemay bolted. And just kept chasing that woman. I had to drop everything and go chase Shemay. And Shemay was adamant to go and whack her. Because there was something there that she just didn't like. But honestly, I think that whatever happened to Shemay and Sierra, and just who is involved in terms of how the RCMP dealt with it, with the cover-up and yada-yada between the two of them, I don't know. I just think that I think they were targeted long before Julian showed up. Let's just put it that way. Definitely Sierra. She was targeted when she was introduced to the drugs at 13. And then, you know, milk it as much as you can. Get every dollar and penny out of it that you can as a scoundrel. And then when you can't control it no more and it becomes useless, unpredictable, uncontrollable, then get rid of it, right? And that's what happened to Sierra. where Chimay was the maximize on the quality goods and use somebody that was dumb enough to do it. Right? Through, you know, manipulation. Voice to skull, anything, you know, whatever. Oh yeah. Okay. Normally I'd be standing, but really my hip is sore. So I got a little thing in there. So I'm going to start with this. Then I got a Rubbermaid bucket here. After I get these drying, get them ready. I got to finish these grapes first, though, before I can do the cheese. So we'll get them drying, dry them, and then put the grapes back on. Continue drying the grapes for another day or two, because it's sugar content, so you have to dry them for a long, and they're very sour. She picked them a little too soon. Probably because she didn't want the raccoons to get to them. But in terms of like adding a little tart to you know, something, right? You could put 1 or 2 little grapes. They have seeds, but you can eat grape seeds and they're good for you. So, you know, you can grind it up and put it into maybe a vinaigrette type salad dressing, right? A little bit of oil, a little bit of vinegar, and a couple of ground up grapes. I don't know. I could cook them in. I could cook up 2 or 3 in Amari's meal and grind it up. Although I'd like to do a test run first just to see how well the grape seed actually grinds up, because that's what I'm going to do first for Amari. I'm going to cook up a few in a pan and grind it up and then see how gritty it is, because grape seeds are actually quite gritty. For us, it's okay. For him, it wouldn't work, right? But in terms of nutrients and that kind of stuff, is, you know, it's fine, right? Yeah. So, and then after I wash these, now I rinse them off. I'll wash that bucket. That's a bin that I had food in my kitchen, which I've now put into Mylar bags into a couple of buckets with gamma lids that need to go downstairs, right? Or I put into other containers and put them away, but I'm going to use this to start sorting out my clothes. I have a plan. It's just going to take a while to do it, right? And like I said, I probably will end up trying to hire somebody. Whether I give them clothes or whether I give them money or whether I give them both remains to be seen, to help me speed up the process and get something happening here. But in the meantime, just hold on a second. You see, this is where it becomes sad for me. Because, you know, sooner or later, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. So any money that because I actually have this dehydrator. There should be another one up there with extra trays, because one burned out on me and I bought a backup. So this was the newer one, and then that's the backup. Well, the one that burned out is gone now. I got 12 trays on there, and I got extra trays up there. The point is, when I can't do this any longer, now you shake them off, right? Those people downstairs don't want this shit. So Andre's gonna lose out on it. He'll never have anyone teach him how to do it, give him an opportunity to do it, so that when he's older, if he wants, he can do it. I mean, they're just gonna rob him of that opportunity, because they're gonna take away things that belong to him. Buy it through me, right? Because Tisha's not, you know, this is not Tisha's style. Oh, it's too much work. Too easy for her to go to the grocery store and just deal with it that way. Same thing with them downstairs. So they'll be throwing out hundreds of dollars worth of equipment. Whether it's canning equipment, well, it would be going into thousands by that time. I I got beautiful pan pots, you know, when I want to make juicer pots, like they're big, right? And they 3, right, with the holes, and you put the cheesecloth, and then you put your fruit in between or whatever. You steam it, right, and then you squeeze and you, right. David down. I don't care. What about my what is that crock pot called? Ohio crock pots. I think it's Ohio crock pots. They come from Ohio, and they're really, they're handmade, and they're really well made, and they're one of the best. I got 2 of them. I bought one for my son. It's downstairs. They don't show no interest in it, and the other one's up here. And then I've got a different one for fermenting, right? Fermenting pickles and cabbage and anything you want, really. Just chuck it out. So there's another $800 gone by the time you're done fucking throwing that shit out. And Andre will never learn how to ferment because nobody will take the time to show him because they're just too busy going to Costco's and picking up shit on bulk. You know what I'm saying? So now you take them, oh boy, and you ignore your hip pain or any other pain that you may have. I guess I should be grateful it's only my hip for the most part, right? But sometimes it can get real bad just because I'm getting old now. And then you turn it on and you dry them and then you take them off, and these grapes I'm going to put back on. And since I'm here and I'm on spot control, I'll try and clean the bathroom, which I do fairly regularly. But I got fabric here. Look at this. Fabric. Andre doesn't want me to give this away. This is a boom box. He says, oh, Nana, let's make sure it works first. So it's just been kind of sitting here. Came from downstairs, right? I think. I think I have 2 of them, but wherever this one, I think this one came from downstairs. So I brought it up, and he wants to try it out first to make sure because it's him and his little friends, right? And I think this one does CD, and I'm not sure. Anyway. Anyway. So, what did I do the last 2 days? Well, I took that corner up by the table, and what happens is, and you see, this is another thing people don't think about, right? See these boxes behind me? Where are we? See? That's all craft. And there's 1, 2, 3 bins just right there, crafts. I told Tisha, you take 1 bin, 1 big bin, and we'll open up these. You take what you want, I don't care. You take it home, and when it empties out, then come back and get more. Why pay when you don't have to? And we're talking beautiful stuff, right? Like pipe cleaners and pom-poms and Google eyes. Who knows what's, there's beads in there, all kinds of stuff. Kids always like to take home something, right? So anyway, because I got my grandkids, you know, like some of this stuff does get on my nerves in terms of toys. But, you know, they're at the age, especially Kyrie, you know, he comes and like, I have all these toys from Andre. And so anyway, we have a bag here, this, that, and, you know, the little musical things, and there's a fair amount. And then, you know, a couple of these open them up and push, you know, and whatever. Okay, so there's and a lot of children's books, you know, the hard ones, right? Okay. And well, after the kids come, which they just came, like, what was it, last week or something? It was like not even a week ago. Like, right? They terrorize everything. Like, literally, they get into everything and they mix everything up. And don't ask me how they do it, but they're sneaky about it. They, you know, so whatever. Okay. So then they leave. And then I say, okay, Andre, well, you know, you clean up now, right? And, you know, he just throwing everything. And then he takes it and he goes by the desk and he's just piling on top of everything else. And then Amari's clothes are in there all nicely folded up. And I say, well, you know, Amari needs a shirt. He'll come and he'll grab, and a whole bunch of clothes will fall on the floor. And then maybe he might grab them up and just stuff them in there in between all the... Okay, so what he does is he creates a big mess because he has no organization skills yet. Right? So when that woman came, and then if you're doing laundry and I'm draping over towels or shirts, whatever, over this stuff so that it can air dry, you know, it right? Like, so for the last 2 days I've been working in that white little corner, but now that I'm in the corner, you know, and every now and then, like, you know, the kids, right? Like, they're drinking juice and they're eating their gummy bears and they're freaking, what do you call those things? Fish crackers, and, you know, and sticky this and sticky that, and, you know, they're scribbling on. Okay, so I'm having to wipe. So and because Andre doesn't sort out the toys to their categories, I like the blocks with the blocks. I like the Dupo blocks with the Dupo blocks with the little people in the house, right? You know, I like the musical instruments in my tiger buckets with all the musical. So I'm emptying out all the toys as I'm coming across them, whether they're in a container for toys or whether they're in a bag that was just all thrown in, and there's more than one bag because I have a fair amount of toys. And I spent 2 days sorting out toys and wiping them down, basically, just because if you're going to sort them out, you might as well wipe them down. You have to, right? You know, and so I've got everything all nicely washed and organized now, right? But that took 2 days. Yesterday and the day before I started, right? On top of laundry and cooking, and, you know, I have to rest because I get tired, right? And, you know, and when you're losing your eyesight, it's, you know, it's harder to do things because you have to, your brain is always overdrive, right? And I'm 63 too, right? Raised 5 kids, been through a whole lot of shit. So, you know, I'm not no spring chicken here, but besides that point, you know, like, so I tried to organize the best as I can. I'm sure they're not going to be happy with it, but, you know, that's whatever. It's like, you want me to throw away toys that my grandkids basically, I know they only come around once in a while or whatever, they get in my way. I mean, I'd love to just be done with it, but, you know, I mean, that's all they're ever going to get from me is the opportunity to scatter toys around and get lucky every now and then to take some home with them if their mother allows them to, or, you know, get into this kind of stuff, right? So I keep the toys. And sometimes when the kids come, you know, Andre and I are exhausted, both of us. You know, we clean, it's all nice and clean, and all of a sudden Tisha shows up with the kids. And they're there for the night. Okay. Well, we know what's going to happen. By morning, it's like a tornado went through it, because they like to touch everything, even when you tell them not to. And they find things that I don't even know where they find them. Like, I have these little rubber stamps that don't have a back on them. You know, when you take a stamp and you put it on ink pad, and then you put it on the paper and you get a little picture. A big bag full. I don't know where they found it. Somewhere in there. Because they climb. Alea May's, she climb, eh? And she's grabbing things because she knows there's like children's stuff in there, right? So now I'm picking up little stamps all over the place. I'm still finding them. I was finding them yesterday, right? But they're small, so I'm keeping them. You know, that's the shit that gets me into trouble. Freaking jars, buckets, toys, clothes. And of course, books. The crime of the century is my books. Doesn't matter what the book is, as long as it's a book, right? You know, yeah. So, okay. So I've been keeping pretty steady pace. So now I'm going to wash this Rubbermaid bin, put it in there, and then I'm going to continue to. I told Andre he has to take these big buckets down with the gamma lids today. He has to. And you see, here's the problem. Andre, you know, those buckets have been sitting there for what? When did I buy them? 2.5 months ago? 2 months ago? They've been sitting there. I've used a few of them. I'm trying not to use these ones because I need them for downstairs. I bought them for downstairs. I filled up a couple to take downstairs. There's a couple of other ones that I can still take downstairs, which will free up space for the other ones that are sitting in the hall, but I can't move the ones that are in the hall because those ones I'm using with those little miscellany of this, you know, a little bit of bean of this kind, right, you know what I'm saying? But I got buckets in the small bathroom that are like six gallon sized buckets full of nothing but jasmine rice. That one can go downstairs. And then once that one goes downstairs, then I can move the two that are in the hall. Otherwise, it's quote unquote obstructing the path. Yeah, okay. But I can't go downstairs. I said, Andre, take those buckets down and the gamma lids. Oh, I can't. Marina's still home. Yeah, Marina's still home. I said, well, yeah, but she's leaving soon. So just take them. Where am I going to put them? Because if we'll get into trouble. Stupid. As I don't care where you put them. Just take them downstairs. Because they're sticking out like a sore thumb at this point. And they are, and they have been. And they've been in a bit of an annoyance. But keep in mind with what I'm freaking dealing with here. Oh. Okay. And that's another thing. Is that recording? And that's another thing. Nobody can say that I'm not handling business here in terms of holding down the fort. Okay? Because I pay the bills and I pay them on time. I have a good credit rating even though I'm in a high debt load. Oh, well, geez, that's what parents do. If, you know, by any means necessary. Welcome to the real world. And, you know, I'm even willing to go outside and do what needs to be done out there, regardless of my physical conditions, just so that I can hold down the fort, right? And people can't use that against me, right? To further harm my family, all right? Into a no man's land in a country called Canada. What else do I do? Oh, yeah, geez. If the shit hit the fan, and I can say this with pride, okay? Even though I know people don't like me having any pride for anything, right? Because it's threatening to them. Something's wrong. Anyway, if the shit hit the fan and the economy really crashed, and the supply train, the food, like even laundry soap for that matter, right? I don't know about dish soap because I've been using it, but definitely laundry soap, assuming that there's a big bucket downstairs, which should be, which I've got another one over here, plus miscellaneous whatever. If the supply chain was to shut down completely because of a major earthquake or tsunami, and we survived that, and the infrastructures were just so damaged, and you know, whatever, I could still feed my family for over a year with what I have in this house. And that includes them downstairs. The kids upstairs and me. And if Tisha came knocking on the door, yeah, I could help Tisha too. So, people don't value that though, you know? No, I don't think so. Only in the upper echelon of the preppers that spend $100,000, $200,000 on food prep, where they have a whole facility, kind of like a mini warehouse. Those kind of preppers, you know, where they actually build in water systems and they can live off grid. Well, I wasn't that capable of going that far. I did have water drums, but a lot of them disappeared in the month of January and February because of the bullcrap that was going on. I don't know how many are left, honestly, if there's any. I haven't really looked. But they were sold off or given off, both. I think some were sold and some were just tossed off to the wayside, which is pathetic. But besides that point, I have the spigots upstairs, but I don't have the 50 gallon water drums anymore. Yeah, because somebody else wanted them. Basically. But I could still feed my family for over a year, regardless if it's 3 people, 5 people, and then there's Alex, Tisha, and the 2 kids. That would make 9. I could probably stretch it out over a year for 9 people and feed us. If it got real bad. So, you know. I'm just saying. Right. Oh yeah. And that's high quality, organic, for the most part, when it comes to dry goods. High calorie count foods. Yeah, I got beef, I got chicken, I've got, in canned goods that is. I've got pork, I got brisket, oh that's so good. I've got turkey, I've got duck. We got a whole whack of salmon, pink and sockeye. We've got mackerel, we've got sardines, and we've got those fishes also in cans, right? We've got crab for comfort food. We've got little shrimp, right? In cans for comfort food, right? That's basically what I bought it for, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, right? You know, we got all the different types of lentils and the beans and the wheats and, oh, but no love. No love. How is that so? How did it work out like that for me, people? What happened? That's the part I don't understand. Yeah. Because you know, if the rubber met the road and it became an emergency because of the continental shelves and a tsunami came and wiped out a whole bunch of shit, not to mention rattled up a whole bunch of stuff and cracked this and cracked that. You know the first place my kids would come crying to. Whatever. Maybe even some of those social workers would be coming to my house. Judy, do you have some food? I've got some children that are hungry and we need your help. Yeah, maybe. You never know. I'll be like, well, I can't really see as much as I used to the last time you guys were here. But yeah, I'm sure Andre can go find you some because Andre knows where it's at. And then we got this big bad boy. Amari pulled it down. I had it hanging up in the ceiling. And his arms are getting long. Doctor said, oh, he's not growing. That's not true. He's growing. He's getting long. He's just not putting on the body mass. No muscles, right? But he's getting longer. He's getting long arms like Andre. And, right? Anyway, he managed to pull this guy down. Don't ask me how he did it, but he did it. So now that he's down, I said to Andre, your little friend that likes to help you in the yard once in a while, maybe if he helps you in the yard, I can give him that. Right? So maybe that's where he'll go, this little guy. Well, he's a big one, actually. And then, because I'm clearing out my room, right? Well, and because my VCRs were thrown out 3 times, and 3 times, Andre and I have rescued them. The last time they were put in the shed, and they almost ended up, well, they did. Some of them did end up in the bin, and Andre and I, we rescued them, and then I dried them in here because they were getting damp and whatnot, and wiped everything down. And then I repackaged them up into Pampers, because I bought Pampers for Amari, right? Because the Huggies they leak a lot, eh? And then because I bought a little fryer, I've got this stuff here, right? This is obviously paperwork. Yeah. And then you see this bucket, this one here, right? That's where my Mylar bag or my oxygen absorbers and stuff are right now. So I'm keeping them close by as I'm going and I'm doing things, right? Oh, this is stupid. So technically these should go back downstairs. But good luck. Okay, so now it's the next day. Oh my god. September 8th, right? 2025. In the wee hours of the morning. Yeah. I sleep to get up to work. I have to go do dishes now, because I didn't get a chance to do dishes yesterday. So what does that mean? That means I'll be in there for guaranteed 3 hours. Right? You know, that's washing a load, and wiping things down, and putting some of that away, and then washing another load, and, you know, and getting ready for the next load, and yeah, just whatever. So, I was thinking about what I was talking about yesterday when I was in the bathroom, because that's basically where I was recording, right? And, you know, how I'm still holding down the fort, right? Yada-dee-ya-ya, right? And, you know, I'm like, I'm just thinking about how the government is stressing out those at the medium income level within society and those at or below the poverty line. Like how stressed out we are in terms of we're trapped, you know, in our environments, whatever those environments are, and some are good and some are bad. And I wouldn't even say good, you know, we're locked in, we're trapped. It's like prisons where you can't really move even if you wanted to. And then if you're forced to and you can't afford that gluttony that's coming in from property owners and yada-yada, interest groups, lobbyists to those property developments and federal schemes with the immigrants, yada-yada, you know, it stresses out families, right? You know, it puts people at risk to be exploited by various agencies, with many of those agencies, you know, related to government, you know, because if it gets ugly, people, you know, I'm fighting back. I don't know, like, I don't think it's going to get ugly, because I think they just want to know where my headspace is at when it comes to, like, what happens to me and what happens to the kids, and because I don't have no fixed, I don't know, direction, fixed decision, you know, like, right, like it's kind of up in the air, and that's not my fault, right? I didn't ask Amari to be born the way he was born, but, you know, he's labor intensive, right? You know, looking after him is labor intensive, and not everybody's capable of doing that, never mind wanting to do that. And then being locked into poverty while you do it. You see, I was already in poverty when I got Amari. So it was just a given, right? Plus my nature, you know, as mother to my kids, and, you know, I worked on the foundation with kids, and, you know, but, you know, people are still stuck on that quote-unquote Canadian dream, where they think if they work hard enough, long enough, they're going to be able to buy a house and retire when they're 65 with no worries. Yeah, right. At what cost, though? Throwing away your family? The ones that you deem burdensome, right? Or having to be internet porn stars in order to accumulate that bag, right? So that you can keep up with the Sings and the Gills and the Joneses and the Smiths, right? The Abduls, right? Just saying, right? Like, there's a cost to that too. And even then, it's the house of cards. It could come tumbling down at any moment. Sooner or later, you're gonna get old. Oh, I know, there's lots of old people on OnlyFans, right? Selling their twats on OnlyFans. Old people. Okay. Well, if that's your gig, I suppose, who am I to judge? But at the end of the day, it's not any way I'd want to live my life, right? So, I deal with what I've got. And I basically have always been poor through that manufactured poverty. And my situation, locked into a house, being used and abused by whoever, because it's more than one group, for their different reasons, right? 15 years, 14 years, 14, 12, 13, 14 years working in a yard, giving up your life, your blood and your soul, just so that you have a house to live in, and you kind of think that you're somewhat normal in a wealthy country. You're not rich, but you're somewhat normal, right? To end up facing homelessness and with no escape, right? Because there's no escape, right? Where everybody around you is in survival mode and basically just thinking about themselves and what's next to them in the immediate, right? And can't afford to go outside of the box, that little immediate family, because it would bankrupt the household in general and lock you into being a perpetual quote-unquote maid, which we all know maids don't get no love. They don't get paid very much. Oftentimes they're abused. They're unappreciated. They're, right? Nobody really sees them as assets outside of. They can be replaced easily with another maid when you're unsatisfied with the one that you've got, or whatever, right? Like, so, anyway, doesn't matter. I'm not too worried about it at this point, outside of, I know how to play dirty pool too. I'm not afraid to go back to the Supreme Court and fight the good fight if I have to fight the good fight, people. I'm just not. I'm on the verge of losing everything anyway, right? One way or another. So, one more good fight isn't gonna bankrupt me any more than I've already been bankrupted. Okay? I'm just saying. I haven't done anything wrong. Andre hasn't done anything wrong. Amari certainly hasn't done anything wrong. And, so, look at this. What do you think about these? Little hair clips. But you have to have really thick hair for these. Yeah. Rhea, the smash and grab thief, didn't get a hold of these. Alright, I don't know. My hair is very thin. I've lost a lot of hair in this house. My hair was thicker
when I moved in, but it's a half a head of hair now. Yeah, there we go. What do you think? Huh? I can't see. Got quite a few of them. Oh, there's some more. How much do you think I could sell one for? Just one. This one has nothing. There's nothing on that one. You could make a necklace out of this one. You could. All you'd have to do is put in little hoops, and you might get a little matching necklace going with it. That'd be alright. You're going to ask me, well, what's the plan? I'm going to say, well, the plan is already in motion. I'm getting oh, this one's nice. This one's longer. That's more my style. It's already in motion. Like, I'm very close to getting into that pizza pocket making mode. Very close. Not there yet. Right? That's part of the plan. Yeah, homemade cinnamon buns, pizza pockets, beef pockets. Remember that? Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Make homemade raviolis, homemade freaking pastas, spinach pastas, right? You know what I'm saying? You could do that too with the powders. Just dehydrate some spinach, grind it up, right? I don't know. Do they use boiled spinach to make homemade pasta with spinach in the pasta? Because I've got machines up here, right? I got a hand cranked one and I've got 2 motorized ones. Yeah. What do you think? Am I a sexy mama? Oh, it's gonna be another long day. I put in a long day yesterday. Oh yeah. I'm trying to gear myself up for downstairs. I gave that man and his wife downstairs. What do you think? Maybe I should keep that. Get dressed up real nice and go visit the Africans and see how they're doing. Yeah, talk about that membership drive. What do you think? Huh? Yeah. Not that some people value community activism, because they don't. They'd rather oppress the community than uplift the community. You know what I'm saying? When you can't afford housing, that's oppressing the community. Yeah. Look at that. You know, I don't know if I want to sell those. I should, when I get my life a little more in order. I've got beautiful clothes in my closet that I haven't looked at for 14 years, 15 years, people. But I know what's in there, and some of them I sewed myself, and they got bright colors on them with big, beautiful flowers. Oh, man, that'd be so nice. Oh, yeah. Maybe a blind person could dress up a little bit here and there. Huh? That'd be nice. Because these would match perfect with that. And get a little curling iron and curl my hair. You know, get those little Goldilocks, curls. Right. Okay, so I can do dishes for 4 hours, no prob. And then I gotta turn on that wash machine and start washing blankets again. Oh my God. And whatever else. It's okay though. Right? I love Amari, so eventually I'd like to think there's gonna be a proper laundry room. Right? Where, you have a nice table where you can stack up your clothes after you take them out of the dryer, and you can fold them up. Right, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that'd be so nice. I miss those good old days. I haven't had a proper laundry room in years. Even downstairs isn't a proper laundry room. They're gonna say, well, what do you want? That's what the woman asked me on the phone. Tara. Her name's Tara. Remember me? I was here 2 years ago. Yada, yeah. You know, the whole thing was a setup, eh? I swear, yeah. Because they're, you know, it's a file that they keep an eye on because of whatever, right? And they needed an excuse because the other one that came to the house, I mean, she was kind of being, I was kind of manipulated with it, right? But, you know, she says, well, yeah, come by next week. Okay. Oh, well, is there anything that you need right now? So she asked me. I said, no, nothing that I need right now. But now that you mentioned it, yeah, what would be nice would be a really, really nice laundry room. And a better kitchen. That would be great. Yeah, that would be really nice. Yeah. And how about a little bit of, a sense of security when it came to, quote-unquote, the housing market. But that's not my job. I can't do anything about that. Yeah, I know. The government just sets the stage for people like you to go in there and either stir up the pot, pluck out here and pluck out there, or to smooth it over. You know what I'm saying? So that the people, they just stay in poverty. Like they don't go anywhere in their lives. They just don't. And many of their family members don't either, unless, of course, they want to get into deviant activities. You know what I'm saying? What do you think? Does that look okay? I don't see very well. I can only imagine what it looks like. Where's that magnifying glass? I can kind of see with the magnifying glass. Oh God, I can't see nothing there. Let's see. See, I don't see color very well, right? Anyway. But yeah, no. What's the plan? Well, it's already in motion. I'm setting up a homeschool center. Or I'm gonna sell things that are related to homeschooling, but it has to be consolidated, right? I'm setting up what is it called? A little quote-unquote boutique with vintage clothing, yeah, and fabrics. I guess that you'd call that a little boutique of sorts, right? Where people can, I suppose, order online when that happens, or they can come by to the house and, like the good old days with the dancers, and try them on. And walk out with a big bag full. Yeah. And with a selection of things to choose from. Yeah. And, work on Amari's cookbook, obviously, with Chef Andre, Chef Amari, and Super Chef Judy. As the house comes crumbling down because the bulldozers are coming. Yeah, to improve the neighborhood. Yeah. It's not my fault. In terms of what that improvement creates when it's the roadkill on the streets after the fact of that improvement. This is just part of being the roadkill. That's the way I see it. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure if people could easily pick up with their lives and find affordable housing and live a somewhat normal life versus always being on guard and, you know, right, looking over their shoulder, wondering where their next attack is coming from, as they're facing fucking homelessness or living in a shoebox. The world in many ways would be better. I like this. I don't know. I'm gonna wait. I know what's in my closet, right? Even though I haven't opened it up for years. And I've got a couple of, I don't know, what do they call it? Mid-length? Mid-length skirts with little, made from cotton. And they got really bright colors with beautiful flowers on them. They're like little summer outfits. I made them back in 1995. Yeah. I remember making them. Just with my memory, I think that would go really well with that outfit. And I probably got more than one. I do. Like different fabric patterns on them, right? So I'll put, but you see, I'm taking this stuff out of my room, right? So I'll have to find a different spot for it. That's the problem. So I guess I don't know where I'm gonna put these, because I kind of want to keep them now. Because I want to, you know, wear them for a day or two anyway. And then after that, I don't know, maybe Alea May would like to have them. Or maybe even Tisha might want one or two. I don't know if that's her style, though. I don't know what I did with the lid. Okay, so I'm going to end this video because I'm already tired. I woke up tired. And I can't afford to be tired. And I'm going to get real tired over the next couple of 2-3 weeks. So I just got to pace myself through it. That's all. I'll be up for the challenge. I don't know what I did with the lid. Anyway, I'll find it. Okay, so I'm going to upload this video and get on with the daily grind. Yeah, get on with the daily grind. Hold down that fort, that leaky boat. Oh, wait till I get outside and I start working on the porch. That ain't going to happen. I'm going to have to do that when it starts getting cold in October. Go figure. Whatever, I'll deal with it. Yeah. My son says, "Careful on the porch, Mom. The termites are eating all the wood." Well, first of all, Mark, that porch needed to be changed when we moved in. So, I'm not surprised. I don't think we got termites. I think it's just more like wood rot. It was there before we moved in, so I don't know. But we'll cross that bridge when that time comes. Right now, we gotta patch up the inside, right, with those leaks in terms of the path.